Okay, Stephen, you're still Deputy Chairman at Warrington Wolves. Been a difficult couple of seasons for the Wolves after all the highs of when Tony Smith got the club back on track to grand finals and Challenge Cup wins, a little bit of success with Steve Price, and then it's been pretty flat since then. And you've taken a big punt now on bringing Sam Burgess in.
Yeah, I mean, it's always our year, Gary, as you well know, and I do think this is a genuine new start, fresh start. Sam Burgess comes with a tremendous track record as a player, and my early meetings and dealings with him, he's going to be an inspirational coach. You can see that it seems to rub off on the players and rub off on the club itself. So I think we're really looking forward for an excellent year.
So you say you've met him, he's inspiring you. How is it going to be different? Because he's not actually achieved anything as a coach, really, has he?
No, he hasn't. I mean, but he's also got some new players, some new players he's brought in that he's personally chosen to join us. I think we've got a real good mix of older players, more senior players, and younger talent coming through. So I think, along with the retention of Richard Marshall and Gary Chambers and Martin Gleeson joining us, there's a really good top team there. To lead from the coaching and performance point of view. And there is genuinely a really positive spirit amongst the players and in the club. And that's being reflected in the fact that the memberships are selling well for next year. And, in difficult times for rugby league as well, because the sport itself has got quite a few financial challenges. But, Warrington always likes not to go the easy way, and that's why we've gone with slightly controversially for some people, Sam Burgess.
I mean, it's a complete contrast to Darryl Powell.
Yeah.
I mean, with Darryl, it was old school, tried and trusted, even though he'd not really had massive amounts of success in the landing trophies, but he was someone who knew the game inside out in this country.
Well, Sam is completely from a different stable, completely. I was at an event recently where all the players were there, and I had to pinch myself to say that that's actually the coach, Sam Burgess, who looked the same age as the players who
he still looks like a player, doesn't he?
Age 34. So yeah, I mean, obviously there is a risk there, but that's a risk we knew about, and let's get behind Sam Burgess. I think he's going to be really great.
So what actually do you think went wrong last year? Because it started again so well, that good run of games, and we looked unbeatable, and we really looked like the real deal. And then, for the second season running, the wheels just completely fell off.
Yeah, I mean, Darryl had a particular style. Communication skills, perhaps it could have been slightly better, really, both within the club and outside of the club from Darryl's point of view. But at the end of the day, we had to make a very difficult decision as a board that Darryl couldn't continue. And Gary Chambers came in. He's been with the club a long time. He's Warrington through and through, and guided us to a decent position in the Super League. Unfortunately, we lost in the playoffs. So Sam knows this. This is a big club. It's his first his first job in first team coaching and the head coach. He knows there's a lot to prove, and I'm sure the players will get behind him.
And has he been set a particular goal to achieve by a certain time?
No, I mean, he just wants to win. That's it, and we all want to win. We all want to see exciting, explosive rugby league on the pitch, and I'm sure that's what Sam will deliver.
And how quickly do you think he'll be able to transform it to start seeing Warrington as a team that can really be competing for the silverware again?
Well, sometimes these things take time, but there's lack of patience in sport, particularly you see in football. So he knows he's got to get success relatively quickly. We haven't set him any particular objectives except to win and win and win, and to make sure we have an enjoyable experience on the pitch this year, and that the fans and our supporters, generally our sponsors, enjoy what they see.
You talk about sponsors there, and obviously the rugby league depends heavily on Sky Sports, and do you think Sky Sports pay a fair whack out for the coverage they get?
Difficult question, that, Gary. Sky Sports has been a very loyal supporter of the game for a long time.
It's actually why I subscribed to Sky Sports when it first came out many moons ago for the rugby league coverage.
10 years ago, they were putting over £40 million into the sport. That was divided by the 12 Super League clubs. From this year, from the media deal, it's just over 21 million.
Wow.
I think their prices have shifted to other sports, particularly football, to golf and to other sports. And rugby league doesn't occupy the position it deserves. Rugby league is a great product, to watch it.
But how can it survive that sort of cut?
Well, it will have to, and every club has now got a lot of commercial challenges to face going forward, including our own club.
And again, they're messing around with the rules of the game, with the tackling after next season. It's going to be you can't even tackle above the armpit. And a lot of people who've watched the game all their lives, like me, where you saw pretty high tackles knocking players out and the impact of the game. That's what made the game exciting and passionate. And it's almost like it's going to end up touch rugby.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk to people like Mike Nicholas or Paul Cullen, they'd probably smile at the idea of these new rules. But of course, there is the issue of safety. We'll just have to see how we go with that. Personally, I think we've got to be really careful about those rule changes because you want an exciting game on the pitch, one that's got a lot of cut and thrust to it. You don't really want touch rugby going forward. Those rules aren't being introduced till next year, so there's some time to work it through. I think in the amateur game, see how that's working through in practice.
Why don't they look at, because obviously American football's a big contact sport and they're all padded up and they have the helmets, because obviously any contact with the head can cause serious brain problems later on in life. Why don't they look at making skull caps compulsory and things like that?
You have to ask the regulatory body about that. I mean, they're very conscious about issues around concussion. That's why the rules have been changed in terms of you're able to bring on an 18th player if you've got somebody seriously injured or somebody's been concussed. So there's that changes. You can actually field the 18th player in certain limited circumstances for the season coming. But the Rugby Football League and certainly our club takes all that really very, very seriously indeed.
Okay. Well, as we say every year, it's going to be Warrington's year, isn't
Always
it?
our year.
Always our year. Well, Stephen, good luck for the season ahead.
Thank you, Gary.
And let's hope we can actually see Warrington, please lift the Holy Grail at Old Trafford.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks, bye.